Hey guys, Brian Savage here. Last video I did is uploading, so I'm going to try to record this through the laptop rather. I'm going to make this one kind of short, so I already did some of the work to it. This is going to taking a look inside this Danelectro FAB Metal pedal, the D3, I believe is what it was. Anyway, if you have one of these, a lot of these Danelectro pedals have this, so you can get inside of it. Shows the arrow to go. You can simply just put your little plectrum in there, and that opens it up. Anytime you're doing this kind of work, guys, get yourself a little box. I like one with a lid so I can close it. Now, like I said, I already took some of the parts apart. First thing I do, take out the battery. Take a look at where your screws are. Like this screw that went in right here actually touches this line of the run in the PCB. So you got to be careful about those kind of things when you're taking these apart. Make sure you're not scratching any of the surfaces, anything like that. This has two PCBs in it, two circuit boards. The first one has the in and outputs and the 9-volt in it, and that's also where this attaches. You pull this out and take a look-see here, and it looks like the switch is wired up permanently, but we can unplug this portion, and that is where all the gain, tone, and all that stuff's made. All the capacitors on this, and we got a diode, and we got some diodes and chips on the back. I believe all this really has to do with the input and output, but more this is the power section. This deals with the 9-volt power. Yeah, all those kind of things. So that's what this has to all do with. So we'll leave that intact and not touch it. Again, we want to change the tone. There's 3 screws, one here, and one right here. And this one right here has a metal ring on it. And like I was saying about paying attention to your screws, that screw, I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, actually has a little bit of paper on it. And that kind of, I guess, isolates it from that. I don't know why. But you have to remove the knobs. I've removed 2 of them. You simply grab a hold of them, pull them off. And if you're doing this on other pedals, you may want to pay attention to, I like to turn mine all the way down and then pull it off so I know all the way down. That's where I'm pointing at. These have a nice little notch on them so that you can line it right up with the notch on that. Line it up with that notch and slide it on there. We'll just take this one screw out again. I've had this apart before, so save you the trouble having me watch take all these screws out. Okay, now that's going to let this come out, and this is what we're after. Level, tone, and gain. And on this board, if you can see, it's listed level, tone, if you will see it or not, and distortion. So this is probably the same PCB as in the distortion model of this fab, with just probably some chips or capacitor values changed. Looking at this again, what's in the tone section here, this is probably what I'm going to mess with, and after looking at how it runs, it goes excuse me, it comes into the level side, in through the tone side, through the distortion or gain side, and then out. So I believe what I'm going to change, this capacitor right here, it is a 0.01 nanofarad, microfarad. We're going to change that and probably change it to like a 47. I think that's what I'm going to throw in there and give that a shot and see how it does. This, from what I can tell, which isn't a whole lot, I guess, from what I can tell, this is this is the last capacitor in the series before it actually goes into the distortion. I don't know why this one's on the bottom half and then all the rest of them are on the top half. But it doesn't look like the solder comes through to the top, so that's going to be a real easy one to break the solder loose. And we're going to give it a shot. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm not going to film all that jazz because that's just unnecessary. But we're going to go ahead and give that a shot and see if that actually changes the tone. And I'll shoot another video after I get it all put back together if it works. If it doesn't work, I'm going to keep changing values on this capacitor and probably this capacitor, and maybe even in the distortion side, this capacitor. These two are 0.033s, and I could bump that up to maybe a whole 1 microfarad from the 0.033 microfarad, or 33 nanofarad, I believe is how it goes. But from looking at the circuit, I think those are the components that I might be able to change, that I can make some difference in the tonality of it. And we'll just see. If not, I'll put it back like it was and let it be. Again, this is a $15 pedal, guys, so don't be afraid to experiment with this kind of stuff if you have a little bit of know-how. And I'm going to go do some research myself before I do that. Now that I know this PCB board has that distortion listed on it, that's really got me curious. And knowing how these companies work and how they standardize these parts in these pedals, I'll bet you that it's just a matter of a couple values in here, or one of the chips in here is the only thing that separate these from the distortion, from the metal to the, I don't even know what all they make in them that would have the same kind of circuitry. But with that being said, I'm going to go see, because when I looked up for the metal pedal, I didn't see any real schematics on it. I didn't see anyone that had any mods or anything like that going on. It looks like these are all the same value of potentiometers. I don't know what that value is. It doesn't say on them, and I'm not going to bother measuring it. But we'll see. So anyway, that's where I get my ideas and do these kind of crazy things, and I encourage you to do the same. You never know. You might end up taking something you don't like and making it something you like. If not, you might learn something along the way. So anyway, another little short one to follow up on the last video of the sound demo, and I hope you guys like it. Again, I was asked to start showing what I do inside these things a little more, so I find that boring, but maybe you guys find it interesting because people asked me for it when I did the Crybaby mods and things like that. They're like, I want to see what it was inside. So that's the inside so far. That's the stock. We'll see what it turns out like. Again, guys, say hello to Obadiah. Make him move so you know that he is alive and he's loved. Hear that purring? And share the music, share the love. See ya.